Hello, everyone. It is Tiffany of Clarity, Confidence, Courage, Women's Empowerment. I am so excited tonight to have these two amazing women with me. It is the interview that I have been telling you guys about with Janet and Gabby Avila, amazing women who are serial entrepreneurs, and I'm just super excited to have them. So, ladies, as you know, I am a women's empowerment life coach. I got in touch with you guys by just a series of events dealing with real estate and learned about your story and was just so blown away that I was like, ladies, take it over. Tell us about yourselves.
Hi, Tiffany. Well, thank you so much for having us. It's an honor. Okay, do you want to start?
Yeah, so Gabby and I are sisters. Mm-hmm. I'm the oldest. Gabby's the baby sister. There's three of us. Her and our basically venture off on entrepreneurship world. Yeah. So, we currently, I'm 31 years old, first of all. Being the oldest, coming from the corporate world, decided to work with Gabby and, just quit our jobs and become entrepreneurs.
Yeah. So I'm 25 years old. So Jen and we own a coffee shop in downtown Phoenix. We have a Thai restaurant out in the outskirts, which is Avondale, Arizona, in the suburbs part of Arizona. We also have an investment company where we fix and flip real estate, an Airbnb company where we keep our Airbnbs, and just our traditional real estate company as well.
So tell us, how did you first make a decision like we were going to do this, and yes, it might be different from what we experienced in our past lives with our corporate career, but it was going to happen? Like, what was that pivotal moment for you both?
So it actually started with me back when I was in college. I actually got into real estate at a really young age because I couldn't afford school. And I was a science major, pre-med specifically. So I was like, there's no way I could work and, get honor roll on my school. So I decided to join real estate. And then Janet here would go with me with pretty much everything because I was really, really young. So I was kind of scared and like timid to really even talk to people.
I think she was 20. Were you 20?
20.
She was 20 when she started. So,
wow.
So it was shy and
I was just like a baby. So I'm right here, a college student, and all I did was like pretty much live in libraries. And so it was hard for me to like be social. So she would go with me everywhere, and she was teaching me like the pretty much like marketing and all these kind of aspects. So she was older than me, and she was kind of educating me on that route. And then I was like, hey, well, if you're like love what you're doing with me, like why don't you do this with me? And so like she was like, no. So like I made her get licensed and like join the journey with me. And then so I finally graduated with honors in pre-med. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a break from this like brutal journey and just focus like 100% on real estate. And that's when we really like went big on it.
Yeah, that's when we really took off. And when I became a real estate agent and decided to do a real estate thing together, it's a partnership. And I think that's the most important key to have a good partner, because you can venture out a lot more. There's two minds. You can piggyback on each other's ideas. So I think it was very helpful in the way that it may give us more confidence to be out there instead of going out alone together as sisters, really helped us a lot. So helping her in the real estate, she did it for financial purposes, obviously to finish school. And I just wanted to quit Bank of America, which is where I used to work for. Corporate America just said goodbye. And I'm like, okay, I can do a lot more on my own.
Wow. So ladies, how many years has it been since you first started up until now?
For me, it's been 5 years. And for Jen, it's been 4 years. Yeah. So it took at least 6 months before I could get my first deal in real estate. But like we kept going and going, and like I was like, well, I'm not gonna quit. Like, I don't know. It's been like we kind of have the mindset where quitting's not really an option. And like being through like, I guess like being in med school, I mean a pre-med student as well, it's something like not anybody could do it. So it's kind of like, well, if others can do it, I can do it kind of mindset. So like, why not?
I wish I had a bell that I could just ring right now because that was like a nugget right there of wisdom. I love that. Where does that come from? Because I think that takes a much deeper resilience because it's a mindset. And it sounds like that's a mindset you had when you were going into pre-med, and clearly you took it with you into real estate. Where does that come from?
You know what? That's a good question, because when you mentioned that, and I just realized this, like quitting it never even came to mind.
Yeah.
Like even when we started real estate, like I was thinking about this the other day driving to work. I was like, I never thought about quitting. Like it just never came to us. So,
it's just, I don't know. I guess you have to see like the bigger picture, like when it comes to like what you want to create, like if your goals are really worth it, you should chase them, like if you don't, we're like, okay, like, is that regret feeling like, am I going to be happy in like 2 years knowing that I gave up on myself?
Yeah.
And
we grew up with very minimal. I mean, we didn't grow up in the best neighborhoods or, whatever. So we like having the ability of having a goal and just ambitious. We're hardworking. Our parents always taught us work, never give up. But what's crazy is our parents were very, like when I quit corporate America, my dad almost got a heart attack. Like what? I was making almost 6 figures, great insurance, vacation. I had a Monday through Friday job. I mean, it was amazing. And then you get into real estate, and he saw me struggle, like no deals, no money. I was broke. I was
like
working,
borrowing money from everywhere.
And he's like, "What did you do? You're crazy." So they're all about security and stability, and we're all about
taking the risk.
Let's just we'll see what happens. Figure it out. What's for there.
It's so funny because I swear you guys just described my whole life right there. And I think every business owner, when you take on the responsibility of owning your own business, you do have to take a risk. And a lot of times you have those family members who are well-intentioned, who love you, who are like, what the heck are you doing? Go back to the safety and security. But I think that as you know, like I know, there is this excitement about not just going for your own business, but the process, the deals, the negotiation. Ladies, tell us about that, because I think that is something that a lot of women fear, especially when you talk about real estate investment, is being a woman and having to negotiate. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay. So that one's tough because, man, Jen and I have been pretty much dragged, through the floor learning like the actual investment business, because there is a lot of male investors in the field, so like no one's ever there to teach us what to do, what to learn, or pretty much anything, right? We actually like paid thousands in like fake information. And so like had to learn like really the hard way.
It hasn't been an easy journey. I think the hardest thing, I'm very hard-headed to the point I hate asking for help. Or that was the old mindset, actually. I used to hate asking for help. So I would sit down and do YouTube would be like my number one, I guess, university. I would learn everything there. But going out in the field, we noticed it was very male dominant. We were always the minorities, always the women, always the youngest. So
it's been tough. Like most of the way we learned is through self-education. So like it's really me. Well, it was a teamwork. She would like really grasp onto things of how like we need to do stuff, and I would learn like the legal side of it, like the contracts, and I would read the contracts myself. And to the point that like I write my own contracts now, so it's like my terms and my everything when it comes to like the investment side. So we've gotten very strategic. She's learned more on financing, and I've learned more on the legalities. And it's just like bouncing off each other's ideas.
And then with time, I mean, you get to hang out and learn from the real people. Like our brokerage right now, it's a very amazing brokerage, has a lot of education. So that's how we're learning now that we're in the game. But before it was easy. It was hard. I mean, people wouldn't take us serious. We were young. We would get deals and
the contractors would be like thinking that we don't know much about like repairs and stuff, but it's like knowing your numbers, like with the experience that we built, it's like, you're not going to charge me this amount for a roof. You're just trying to rip me off. Like I know my numbers now.
That was something that I never thought, and she was the one that would catch it until she finally told me, "Dude, we've been ripped off." It's like they would think we wouldn't know the business, obviously, you know, being so young. So a bid to us would probably be 50,000 versus somebody else would probably be like 35 or 40.
Yeah.
You know, because they thought we didn't know the business. But now I think the most critical thing is learning the cost of labor, knowing your numbers, you know, every mistake you learn. So once we make a mistake, we just got to learn and it never happens again. And I think that's what helped us a lot, you know, never give up. Yeah. There's been flips that we've lost and we've gone home and it's just stressful. Like I just want to cry. So it's like, no, you know, what did we learn?
You should see our first flip actually. That was probably like our most brutal flip. Like after that flip, we actually acquired the property and Janet said it was going to be a simple flip. We ended up.
And can you explain to the people who don't know, I know what you're talking about, what a flip is?
Oh, okay. So flip, go ahead.
Yeah, so flip is when we acquire a distressed property and then we just renovate it and sell it for a profit. So obviously we have to go in and renovate. Sometimes it needs roof, sometimes it's just cosmetic, you know, it's just paint, countertops, sometimes it's a lot deeper with plumbing, you know, so knowing all that stuff is very important and crucial, you know.
So we ended up getting this project thinking that it was going to be more on the cosmetic side. It had good numbers, but then once we actually acquired the property,
it was a complete mess.
Yeah, it was bad. We had to destroy the entire property and pretty much build a new one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was our first one. So from there, we kind of like, I guess, learned a lot. And we're like, well, we're not giving up. I mean, we basically built a brand new house, so let's keep on going, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's how we kicked off. And we've been in the flipping business about 3 years already. 3 years. And we love it.
Wow.
We really do.
I love how you said that, number one, know your numbers, which I learned a long time ago, just a little bit of experience I have in my own real estate. You have to know your numbers. You have to be smart about your business. You cannot rely on everybody else to know how to do your business. It is up to you. And the second thing I love that you said is, for every mistake you make, it's a learning lesson. Like, it is not a time to bash yourself for making a mistake.
Exactly. Yeah. And so like one way, like, I know it's kind of hard because like us ladies, we're not really out in the field, like, oh my gosh, we need new piping for this, or that is wrong. You know, like you don't really know that stuff. I know that stuff because I read like hundreds of inspections. So I'm very familiar. Even now, Janet still leaves me with the inspection part. But like when I don't know something, I don't go with the first bid. You know, like I used to be lazy and be like, oh, let's just pay that. You know, but no, like you need to know your numbers. You need to get at least 3 to 4 bids. And then you're like, okay, well, this typically costs around this much based off these numbers. Yeah. And then you get to know like
the cost,
who's ripping you off based off those.
And you get to learn the cost of everything, you know, with time after you analyze the prices, the cost of it. So you get familiarized with the process. So that's how we've been coming, I guess, the experts now. You know, we are very savvy now. We can do a flip on our own and know our numbers right away. Yeah. It's a good deal or not. So, yeah.
When you have had those moments where, like you said, you go home and you pretty much want to cry because it didn't go the way you wanted to, what do you do to cope? What do you do to get through that moment?
Personally, I pray. I think that's one of the biggest things that has helped us in life. We're very spiritual, very big with religion and God, and overall everything. Like I said, I think having good support, and like I said, Gabby and I are very good in teamwork. Like we're roommates, we live together, so we're literally together almost 24/7. And that's very helpful because if I'm feeling down, she comes. Sometimes she'll just let me get over it, and it's the same thing with her, you know. But one of the biggest things that every week we sit down and talk about our losses and our wins, and I always go back and count our blessings and what we're grateful for. Because even though we've had a lot of losses, if you turn around and see everything that we've accomplished, it gives us energy again to keep going. We're like, okay, we've lost, but we've gone this far.
Right.
And
sometimes it's just like picking yourself up. It's like she says, like, I'll vent to her, go home, pray, cry, go to sleep. And like, I'll be going to sleep like at 7 p.m. that night. And then the next day I'm like, okay, feel better now. Like, gotta let it out. Just keep going.
And it's extremely hard. It's extremely hard. It's like definitely self-motivated. Like you have to be self-motivating Because if you give up in the moment, you give up, everything you've accomplished is like, for what, you know? So it's like, Gabby and I, like, I'm determined to never, ever go back to corporate America, like, never, you know? So that's one of my biggest motivators.
What also helps me is we both have vision boards. So we actually just hang them in our like room or office at home. And then like whenever I like feel down, we're just like, I have my goals written down and I have like a visual. So it's like, okay, I want that. Like, get up, go.
We talk about our goals a lot. And that like gives us like fuel to keep going as well.
Yeah, we have to like empower the team so like they know that what we want like has to like match like everyone's level. So
and do you ladies agree that, like you just said, you have your goals in front of you, clearly written, but also in images on your vision board? You're looking at it every day, you're thinking about it, you're talking about it. Do you agree that when you really get clear on what it is you desire and you have a definite goal, that it makes the pathway a little bit easier?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you on that. Just because you have to, you know, because having structure and a goal definitely helps you grow versus just waking up and just, I mean, that's how we started. We just woke up and grinded and grinded and grinded. But you really have to plan and see a path, because other than, if you don't plan, there's so many mistakes that you can do, so much money you can let go, opportunity, because you don't know where to go. You're just going, you know. So we definitely know what we want. We have our huge goals, and that's definitely helped us grow.
Yeah, and really like help us put like structure in the business.
So you got clear on your goals. You came up with the plan. You incorporated different strategies to motivate you and keep you going: prayer, talking through, writing things out, your vision board. And you were self-educated. Like you said, you went out there and you started to learn what it was going to take to move forward. And the reason that I pull that out of everything that you all said, because so many times that is exactly what I teach my coaching clients in my one-on-one 90-day programs is you got to get clear. And you gotta motivate yourself, and you gotta start self-educating to get to where you want to go. So I love that you women completely embody everything that I constantly talk about. I almost feel like I preach about it all the time. Now, I know we're talking about real estate, but I also know you ladies own other businesses. How did you venture from specifically real estate into some of the other businesses that you all have?
When I was working at Bank of America, my goal was always to open up a coffee shop. I've always wanted to do that, just open up a cute cafe. It didn't happen, and I'm glad it didn't happen. You know, I wasn't financially ready. I had no business plan. I had no idea what it was to be just a business owner. And I kind of stumbled into a good opportunity last year, actually. And we decided to open up, I took the opportunity of opening up a coffee shop, and we kind of just took it and went with it. And, you know, there's a difference now that I have a different mindset than I did back then. I was also more financially ready. And I already knew the struggles. You know, I'm suffering of being self-employed. So I'm just ready. So I brought her in, like, hey, do you want to open up a coffee shop with me? It'll be good.
I was like, okay. Well, like I knew she always wanted her coffee shop, so I was like, okay, let's do it. Like I know a little tiny bit about coffee, and so we did it. And so that was a tough decision that we made, because like during the beginning, like we were going through so much stress and so much like so many things that are new to us that me and her were constantly fighting. And it was just weird because like we never fight. So it was like, that's how you know we were extremely stressed. And so like we had to like sit down, be like set a plan, what we want our coffee shop to be, what are we looking for, what are we aiming for, and then we just created it. And then we got like, we divided the work, like this is what you're gonna learn, this is what you're gonna do, all right, and then just took action on it. And we got the whole team on board, delegated what needs to be done so we can be a little bit more hands off. And then we did it.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest thing is hiring a good team, you know, because it's all about teamwork. If you don't have a good team, if you work too hard, execute all these plans, and then they don't execute, you know, the actual goal, then everything is irrelevant. So having a good team has helped us a lot. because just the way we treat each other, it's like, oh, nobody's the boss. Like, we're all in one. We never have that mentality of you're the boss, or you're this and this, like in any of our businesses. And I think that's helped us a lot, because people are not intimidated. They're more open to share ideas and work with you.
Right.
Which is more important.
It also helps because I'm the youngest one, like, out of everywhere. So it's like, if I'm not here to be like, I'm your boss, like, listen to me. Like, no. So we just portray that message in, like, a teamwork environment to make everyone feel comfortable and, like, make everyone happy so that they're able to perform better.
It's amazing what you can go through if you don't give up. Like, you'll never know how far you can get until you just go for it. So wow. It was crazy.
It was insane.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
And I know you guys also own Airbnbs. Tell us a little bit about, again, how you kind of got into that part of your business, into yet another business.
Yeah. So Janet's a big fan of investing. So I like more like, I was more of a traditional, like, okay, let's buy properties and rent them out traditionally. And then she got into the idea. We found a 2-bedroom house, our first little house. It was a 2-bedroom house, 900 square feet. And I was like, that's really cheap and a really good side of town. And she was like, I'm like, the rent's not enough to cover, like, it was pretty much breaking even if you just rent it out traditionally. So she was like, no, let's Airbnb it. And I was like, what? I was like, I don't know what that is actually, like, the actual process of that. She's like, let's do it. We'll figure it out. We'll renovate it and make it look all aesthetically pleasing. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So that's when we first started with that. And then it's been really good, actually. It's more of a hospitality industry. So it's like setting yourself aside from hotels.
Yeah. And I'm a big, I'm always doing research and just businesses and, so I saw this opportunity of the Airbnbs, and I know Phoenix is or Arizona, Scottsdale and Phoenix are huge on Airbnbs.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's give it a shot. We'll see what happens. And ran our numbers. And we just went with it. And
the numbers are crazy on that. So we fell in love with that area.
Yeah.
That route.
It's good profit.
Yeah. Definitely better than, like, traditionally renting it out.
Yeah. So
what do you all, when it comes to business, can you describe to the women who are watching, what is the feeling that it feels like when you are in control of a business? I don't know if I can quite describe it to people. So I'm asking you all, because there is the challenging side of running a business, but there's a reason that most business owners keep doing it. And it's intrinsic. Can you all explain to the women that are watching the reason, like, what is the feeling that it feels like?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about Gabby's, but mine is I just want to see it grow. And that's all I think about, growth. Like my coffee shop, it's a small coffee shop. It's actually in the same building as our real estate office. It's downstairs. So it's a small place, but, the growth, the opportunity of eventually becoming a franchise and just having those goals to always move forward is what keeps me alive and feel like all the time.
Yeah, it's like a baby. So it's like you want it to grow and you want to, like, nurture it, and you need it to be successful. Like, like, it's not, you're not just gonna hand it out. You want it to grow and nurture it. You spend so much time in it that, like, seeing it grow, it's like, it's everything. And it's like makes you so happy. It makes, like, it fulfills me. Like, just knowing that, like, I'm making something grow and I'm, like, really creating what I said I was gonna create. Like, it's just, I love it. It's beautiful.
It is, yeah. What is, and we have some questions coming in for you, but what is one thing that you want to tell this audience that would inspire them?
Well, like, same thing that keeps me going, I guess. Like, go ahead and create your life. Like, it's your life. Like, you don't want to be here in, like, 10 years and be like, I should have done that. Like, I should have gone after this. What could have been of me? like just do it. Like that's all you have to do. Like put your head down and do it. That's what Jen and I do every single day.
Yeah, you have to. I think our biggest thing for us is overcoming fear, because every time, if I can sit down and tell you that I was terrified to do what we did, if I would have listened to my fear and be comfortable and just be safe, I would have never, or we would have never accomplished what we've done. Like every single time we would just be like, okay, here we go. And just, jump onto it, and like I said, we've won and we've lost several times, but it's just going forward, okay, you learn, move on to the next step, eventually until you reach your goal. And your goals, I guess, should be so big that they scare you in reality, like you just have to push yourself. And
it's definitely not easy, like at all, but it's so worth it.
Yeah.
I promise.
Meditation is a good thing. Affirmations. I think having a vision board is important too, because when you feel down, which happens very often, like I said, you just have to push yourself. You can just, look at your vision board, why am I doing this? And then, just having a why, is important. Like we came from nothing really, and now it's like we have restaurants, properties, Airbnbs, and our real estate industry, our real estate business is like booming. So it's like all of this would have not happened if I would have listened to our fear. And let's just stay safe and work, and let's, that's not how we function. That's not how we are. So just overcoming fear would be, the best advice I can give you. Yeah. Because
ladies, I could stay on here all night long. And I'm sure the ladies who are watching could stay on here all night long, especially those who are really wanting to get more information about investing and real estate. Can you just tell all of us how we could get in contact with you, how women can contact you if they have questions, if they want more information about real estate? How do we get in touch with you all?
I personally am very active on my Instagram. I'm not huge on social media just because we're always running around. I wish I was, and that's a goal of me this year, to be more active. Yeah. But if I'm going to be on social media, it's going to be my Instagram. And it's Janet _AZ living.
Yes. And then you can also find me at Gabby, GABBBAY _, or you can find us at the A-Team and AZ.
Yeah.
GABBAY _.
Yeah, and GABBB, 3 B's.
3 B's.
Oh, 3 B's. Okay.
Yeah, Gabby was taken.
And just underscore.
Yeah, and mine is Janet _AZ.
Okay. Any last words, ladies?
No, just go to sleep, wake up, and do it again every single day. And then next thing you know, you made it. you know?
Just don't look back.
Yeah, don't look back. Not in the beginning, but it's really like that. Like, it's hard, but I really mean it when I say just get up and go to work or do your thing every single day. And, in a couple months, maybe turn around and see everything you've accomplished. If you're consistent, you will definitely reach your goal or make some sort of, improvement.
Yeah, I mean, you're living anyway, so might as well just live the life that you want to create rather than just living it.
I love it. I'm inspired, ladies. Thank you so much, Janet, Gabby Avila, for being in my Facebook group and doing this interview. Again, everyone who is watching, if you want to get in touch with these ladies, they are on Instagram. I put their website link in the comment section. If you want to get in touch with them behind the scenes, you can DM me, you can DM them on Facebook. Again, this is the epitome of confidence. This is why I invited them to the group, because I wanted you to see what it really takes to step into your confidence. And the first thing you have to do, get clear on your goals. The second thing you have to do, start working on that mindset to believe in yourself. And the third important thing, take action, ladies. Take action. You guys, thank you so much for being on here. I am going to end it now. Bye-bye, everyone.